The last few weeks have left me feeling like this emoji, and this emoji. And I watched Fellowship of the Ring at least 6 times. So you know what I thought? Why don't we do the Choose Your Own Fellowship book tag? Because why not? Hi, hello, I'm Ash. Welcome to Pages in the Stars. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now so you can be alerted to all my bookish, not bookish, and sometimes ranty content. Also, there's 164 of you who are subscribed to my channel right now, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate each and every one of you who take the time to sit down, watch my videos, comment, enjoy the vibes. You guys have me so soft. I'm so grateful for all of you. So just thank you for anyone who's subscribed, shouted me out, suggested my channel, people who have been here. Just thank you. You have my heart very soft and warm right now. Okay, anyway, let's get into the book tag. So, as I said, because I watched Fellowship of the Ring so much the last few weeks, I decided I was going to do the Choose Your Own Fellowship book tag. So, let's get into it. The first prompt is Frodo, a book you're not really sure how you feel about yet. Oh, everyone's gonna hate me for this. I chose We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. Now, hear me out. It's not that I don't like the book, I just don't like it as much as everyone else likes it. That's the way I'm approaching this. And it's not the book, it's not the author, I just didn't enjoy it as much as everyone else did. I think that's because I set my expectations so high for the book because so many people were hyping it up, and it just wasn't a book that I enjoyed as much as I thought I was going to. But I'm still not quite sure how I feel about it yet. I definitely want to read We Free the Stars, but I just chose this book for this prompt because I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet. I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't hate it. I enjoyed it, but I feel like as much as people love We Hunt the Flame, I kind of just fall somewhere in the middle of just liking it. I didn't love it as much as everyone else did. I feel like that's an accurate description about how I feel. Anyway, second prompt. Samwise, a book you will always be loyal to. Okay, if you've been here on this channel, you know the answer to this question. That is The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. I will ride or die for this book every single day, from past to the future, from now till forever. You all know how much I love my book about a queer black girl who goes on an intergalactic adventure across the country with an alien who loves pop music to try and save the human race. I love The Sound of Stars, my ride or die book. Everyone on this channel knows that at this point. Someone should go through my channel and tally up the amount of times I've mentioned The Sound of Stars. Someone do it, because I know it's been a lot. Third prompt. Pippin and his what about second breakfast? I love Pippin. I love that line. Aragorn's just going on ahead and Pippin's like, what about second breakfast? Anyway, the prompt for this is a book you would like to reread. So a book I would be revisiting for the second or third or whatever it is time. For this book, I chose Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. I read this book last year and I loved it so freaking much. I read about cultures that are not my own cultures or religions that are not my own religion. I try to do a lot of research. So I'll watch other booktubers, I'll read book reviews to make sure that the representation in the book is good. And I saw a lot of Muslim booktubers and Muslim book reviewers say that they really enjoyed the way that Islam was represented in this book. So once I kind of got, not a green light, but once I got confirmation that this book had good representation in it, I went ahead and I read it, and I'm so glad I did, because this was a book that I really enjoyed. I love the relationship that developed between Zainab and Adam, and I also love the way the book handled some more delicate topics. Definitely a book that I want to reread because I just enjoyed the time that I spent with it. I enjoyed the characters, and I think it's definitely a book that everyone should read. If you're someone who's into more YA contemporary romance, Love from A to Z is definitely a book for you. And that's another thing. I don't read a lot of contemporary romance. I've said it before on this channel. I do not read a lot of contemporary romance, but I heard a lot of people talking about this book, and once I read that the representation in it was good, I said, okay, I want to read this book, and I was pleasantly surprised because contemporary romance books do not usually hold my attention, but this one did. So yes, I would like to reread Love from A to Z by S.K. Ali. Fourth prompt, Mary, a book about friendship. For this one, I actually chose All-American Muslim Girl by Nadine Jolie Courtney, and although this book isn't explicitly about friendship, I chose this book because of the impact the friends in the book had on the story. This book follows a girl who, if I'm remembering correctly, her name is Ali, and she goes from being a non-practicing Muslim to learning more about her faith and practicing Islam. And what I really enjoyed about the story is that she had a group of friends who were also Muslim who kind of surrounded her and supported her in her journey of learning more about her faith and practicing. I thought that was good to see because this was something that she wasn't revealing to her parents. So it was nice to see that she had a support system of friends around her to support her. So that was something that I really enjoyed about the book. I think the friends in the story played a really important role, which is why I ended up choosing All-American Muslim Girl for this prompt. The fifth prompt is Aragorn, a book with a hero or a heroine worth swooning over, because I'm totally not here swooning over Aragorn and him chucking a flaming torch into a ring wraith's chest. Okay, anyway, so a book with a heroine or a hero worth swooning over, and I didn't choose a single book, I chose a series, and that is the Ember in the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir, and I'm talking about Elias Vittorius, because why not? I don't know a single person who has read the series, An Ember in the Ashes, and isn't swooning over Elias. I dare you, go find someone who has read the series and doesn't swoon over Elias. I have a Sky Beyond the Storm, and I'm putting off reading it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. That book has me so nervous. I have the book. I've had it since December, and I'm dreading reading it because I don't want the series to end, but I'm also not prepared for what Sabaa Tahir is going to put these characters through. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready to have my heart ripped out, stomped on, lit on fire. I'm not ready for it, guys. I'm not. The sixth prompt, Legolas, a really big book on your TBR. For that, I chose The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I believe that book is sitting at 526 pages, so I do think it is the biggest book on my TBR, with the exception of, I don't have a physical copy, but I think We Free the Stars is over 600, but I'm only doing books physical copies of right now, so yeah, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, I'm pretty sure it's about 526 pages, and I definitely want to read it, but I'm waiting to be in the right mindset to read it, because everyone who I know who's read it said that they loved the series, they loved the books, but it's just a really heavy series. So it's definitely a series that I'm waiting to get into the right mindset to read. But yeah, The Poppy War up here, this chonker, is the big book on my TBR. Okay, the seventh prompt is Gimli, a short but fun read. And for that, I chose After Hours, Volume 1. This is by Yuta Nishio. I loved Volume 1 of this manga. I don't have Volume 2 or 3 yet, but everything about this was just so wholesome. It pulled me out of a recent reading slump, and I loved this story. So this book follows Emmy, who's 24 years old, and she has no idea what she is doing with her life, and she meets Key at a club, who's a DJ, and the story follows the two of them, and I love Emmy kind of being shy. I love Emmy's shyness around Key because she's kind of tiptoeing around her feelings for her and doesn't really want to talk about them. But I love the relationship that's developing between the two of them. This was a really short read. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to get Volume 2, and I cannot wait to get Volume 3 to continue it. This book was actually recommended to me by Medusa over at Deku's Notebooks. Please go check out their manga channel because I love manga tubers. I love people who talk about manga because
manga and graphic novels are a valid form of reading, and I will die on that hill.
Everyone who talks about how chill my vibes are, I am sorry if this is not a chill video. I feel like I've been yelling the entire time. Okay, the next prompt is Boromir, and it is a series that you haven't got past the first book in, and I just realized why Boromir's name is attached to this prompt, because he doesn't get past the first. Okay. Anyway, okay. So this prompt is Boromir, and it is a book you did not get past the first book in the series with. For that, I chose The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis. I ended up DNFing this book last year. I think I started reading it at the beginning of quarantine, and I couldn't get into it. And again, it's not because it's a bad book. I just didn't really enjoy the Western setting. It was harder for me to read, and I wasn't really finding myself as immersed in the world because I just wasn't interested in that Western type setting. So again, the book isn't bad. I just didn't enjoy it because of its setting. That's nothing against the book. That's definitely a book that you should go out and try. If you hear me on my channel saying I don't like a book, unless it's because it's got crap representation or the author is problematic, go out and try the book for yourself, because I try to make it as clear as I can that I didn't like a book because this is how I read, or this is what I enjoy when I read. So if you hear me say that, go out and try a book for yourself. Yeah, I didn't make it past The Good Luck Girls. I think the second book comes out later this year. Maybe I'll give it another try, but it was just something that was harder for me to enjoy because the setting just didn't pull me in as much. And the last prompt on this is Gandalf, a book that makes you question your life, the universe, and everything you have ever known. For that, I chose Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This book took me a whole month and a half to read. And even though it took me a really long time to read, I loved it. But when I heard it was a King Arthur reimagining, I didn't know what that was going to mean. I just knew I wanted to read it because it involved King Arthur in some way. But I loved what Tracy Deonn did. She took the King Arthur myth and flipped it upside down. It was like everything that I knew was just nope. I loved it so much. I also love the way that she handled grief and generational trauma. This was another one of those books that just helped me realize, like, no, Black girls belong in these stories. Even though growing up you didn't get to see yourself in these stories, Black girls get to be in these stories. Okay, I know the prompt was a book that makes you question your life and kind of everything you know, but at least from the thought of what King Arthur myths traditionally are, this book helped me see what they could be and what they can be when they're not, stuck in a box. I think when we think of certain myths and legends, they're very much in a box. Like, it has to be this thing, this way, this type. And Tracy Deonn straight said, nope, and got rid of that and just did her own thing and just, I loved it. That's about going to wrap up the tag for this video. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, by all means, do this tag. I had a lot of fun doing it. I haven't been producing a lot of content lately, so this seemed like a great tag video to get me back into the swing of producing some videos, so I was happy with it. I'm happy about it. Have you read any of these books? Let me know in the comments. Are you going to try out any of these books? How do you feel about Lord of the Rings? Let me know in the comments. Give a like, give a subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see everyone in the next video. Bye!